Welcome to Here Come the Details, a podcast show with Josh Fadum. This week's guest is Brian Girgus of the new California Barbershop located in Los Angeles. Josh and Brian discuss presentation. They get into some of the fun aspects of how to ask for a haircut. Brian Girgus was a guest but now a friend of the show and wound up recording our theme song with Dean Minta. Thank you all for that lovely tune. Just a heads up, y'all, today's episode is meant for the mildly mature. Please enjoy.
You look tired.
Do I?
No.
Okay. As always, our producer, Rob Stewart, who's always here, and our special guest today discussing Brian, how do you say your last name?
Girgus, Girgus.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say it wrong. Well, so let me just back it up here and tell you. Yesterday, I was on a plane back from Los Angeles, California, flying into Oklahoma City, where my girlfriend lives, and I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I drove from Oklahoma City to Tulsa, Oklahoma yesterday. While I was on the plane, I get a text message from Brian Girgus, ... ellipses, the barber, and he's saying, hey, I'm going to be in Tulsa, and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm having a brain shake-up because I'm like, did we talk 2 days ago? I swore I was like, did I run into you like 2 days ago?
It was a funny reply.
It was more like 5 weeks ago.
Right.
Or something like that. But it was in Los Angeles. We ran into each other. You let me know that you cut Johnny Pemberton's hair, good friend of mine. So we've got Johnny Pemberton's barber as our guest today. Brian is a barber, amongst many things. I just thought it would be great to have Brian on to discuss presentation, as we've been talking about. Barber. I had all these thoughts and questions, but this isn't an interview. This is a discussion. So we're discussing anyway.
I'm open,
so if I forgot all my questions, which I have written down in front of me. Oh, I got a first question. Hey, first of all, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm really good. Been walking around Tulsa and loving it.
Steps are also important. So I had a question. Difference between a hairstylist and a barber?
Interesting.
Can you share?
Yeah, for sure. Well, okay.
Some listeners might want to know the difference. They might not be sure.
They could be both the same thing.
Okay.
But when you choose to get your license, you have two choices. You can either go to a barber college, find a barber college, or you can go to a cosmetology school and become a cosmetologist. Mm-hmm. And so it's like two distinct licenses. Not that one can't do both or something, I have a couple people working at the barbershop that I have in LA, and
both.
They do both, exactly. So yeah, first I think it's just like, what are you exposed to that makes you decide. When I first was thinking of becoming a professional hair cutter, it was like as limited to that. I really didn't know much about the idea of being a barber or a cosmetologist or a stylist,
I mean, you just draw it out of a hat, or did you say, I want to be a barber, or were you cutting hair already?
Well, I had cut hair for friends already, but no thought of doing anything other than that, like not in any capacity at all, except for like one day it hit me. But I had let friends who were in Cosmo school cut my hair because that's where you get
generous.
Cheap haircuts,
Too.
obviously. Cheap
You're helping them
4-hour
out.
haircuts, exactly.
Yeah.
But you're in there forever and a day, and
Is it worth it, not worth it?
Oh, God.
As a friend.
I mean, I would say it's not worth it. It's good in a pinch if you're as broke as it gets, I guess.
Yeah, we got buckets coming by, but that's all right? This is all part of the charm of this place. There's buckets being bucketed around. Anyway, continue.
So I had gone to it was like
That's all right.
That was a classy move.
Classy move.
That's a full trash can.
Yeah.
What's one? Paul Mitchell. She was working at she was going to the Paul Mitchell school.
Yeah.
So I walked in and I was like, I'm gonna maybe consider going or getting a license in haircutting. Hi, I'm here. I was at the front desk, and they were like, okay, watch this video. And like as soon as it turns on, it's like in a fast-moving industry. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about that.
You said no.
Yeah.
Now,
but then I realized, okay, so I was playing in a band at this point in San Francisco.
What was the band called?
This band was called Trackstar.
Okay.
And in between our practice space and the BART station, I realized, I always walk by the San Francisco Barber College. And it's just in this fucking gnarly part of town, 6th Street between Market and Mission. It's a pretty intense zone. But I looked in and I was like, it looks pretty cool. It's like very old-timey, Mm-hmm. The chairs. And so as soon as I walked in there, I kind of realized this is sort of what I like, the old, amazing chairs.
Yeah. When when you have a customer, do you whap the seat with the towel ever?
No, but I can. I'm free to.
Oh, okay, you can. So sometimes if someone's looking for that kind of treatment, you can probably spot it at this point.
yeah.
Have a seat. Come on in my
That's
chair.
right. But so then it was okay. Barber college, hey, is a lot cheaper.
And you took it.
I took it. Yeah. So I did.
How long did it take?
At that point, it was 1,600 hours in 10 months.
Oh.
But it's such a.
How do you break that down into that's 1,600 hours and 10 months, or 1,600 hours?
It's like it was 8
I can't do
to
that math
4.
right now.
Yeah, well, the thing is it just doesn't matter because it's such a loose thing. You could like pay money if you knew how to cut hair. They would send in your papers as if you had done all that time. There's just it's a free-for-all.
Uh-huh.
So once you find a company
So
that'll...
barber college is an unchecked racket.
Yeah, and it's changed completely over the years. You used to need a human model.
Can you hold on?
All right,
We're
yeah,
blowing
this
the
could
lid.
go
We're
fucking
blowing the lid off some information
hard
here.
left.
Barber college is an unchecked racket, and that then you were drawn in to circle back to our topic presentation. Barber college presented itself as a legitimate institution, lured you in, but then you yourself bought into the racket and said, I like what's going on here.
Definitely.
I already know how to cut the damn hair.
No, well, that's not true. I mean, I had the fearlessness to cut the damn hair, but
Because like you're like, hey, you're sitting down in my chair, we're gonna give it a try. Or would you say, can I cut your hair?
It was usually a friend coming over and they'd sit on the toilet in my bathroom and I would cut their hair over like a 6-pack for an hour.
And were they pretty much all? Was the stakes were low?
Stakes were very low.
I cut my own hair, and I always feel
They were
like,
that low.
what's that?
They were that low.
I'd rather screw it up than pay for something I don't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was always doing it myself too,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And it wouldn't even occur to me to spend more than $15 on a haircut, you know?
Is there a barbershop movie? Is there a movie? There's
Oh,
Barbershop.
yeah. It's pretty good. The first one's good with Ice Cube.
Have you
It's
seen them
good.
all?
Yeah.
Now, what about the man?
Simple Man? The
No,
Coen
it's-
Brothers
you're thinking
movie?
a Serious Man and a
Serious
Simple
Man.
Plan. You're conflating those two, but the one is it's actually called The Man Without a Past. No, The Man Who Wasn't
Wasn't
There.
There.
The
Fuck,
Man Without a
right,
Past, Aki Kaurismäki movie.
All right.
This one is a Coen Brothers movie. The Man Who Wasn't There, and it's got all those old style trims. Do you think you could do an old style trim?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So you can look at a hairstyle and say, someone can come with a picture and say, "Give me that one."
Totally. Yeah, it's the best. Everyone comes in sheepishly with the photo, but you're always like, oh, Christ, thank you for the photo. You know, because it's just makes it easy because, you know, translating someone's gibberish.
Like, what's some gibberish they might say?
Like, it's really fine on the side, and I really have this brown tip that I really don't know how to, and you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm going to cut your hair a little shorter on the sides and back.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it a little longer on top.
So is there a particular type of etiquette that you prefer for someone to come in? Do you like them to go in there and shut up? You like them to go in there and yap? If they're sitting there quiet, do you talk a whole bunch?
I don't mind any of it, honestly, as long as they're not obviously a prick. So just don't be a prick, and then it'll be just fine.
You can hop on up if you're ready. Welcome to the shop. How's it going?
Never better.
What do you got in mind for today?
I've got a big show up the road. Just a professional haircut would be nice.
Okie dokie.
But yeah, no, it's fun. It's always kind of fun to try and adapt to somebody's sensibility.
Someone says, "Hey, I want a cool punk rock haircut. Can you give me one of those mohawks?"
Now it's like, let me see a picture. I'm not going to make something up, you know.
Oh, so you asked for the picture?
Yeah.
So do
Or
you
you
ever
hope,
sit
yeah.
there and say, Google some mohawks
Yeah,
and say, you like this
totally,
guy? You like this
totally.
guy? Now, do you ever get anyone in there and say, give me a faux hawk?
Yeah, and then there's a lot of
Do you do those? Do you do like a really shitty haircut
Oh,
like
yeah,
that?
I can do plenty of shitty ones, too, yeah.
Now, do they come in with a picture of a shitty one? You're like, you know.
and you're just like, fuck. All right.
I remember, like a few years ago, American Airlines had they have like pictures of like, these are flight attendants, like Marcy says hi and it's smile, like, I'm here to serve you, and then Jeremy says whatever, or LaWanda says whatever, and like they just have pictures of these random people with flight attendant costumes. But there was one with a guy, and his hair was so tall, and I wish I had the picture.
The blow dryer is a very magical tool.
Oh, do you blow dry?
I
And
try
but
not
it was short
to.
on the sides and a big, tall,
Yeah.
silly thing. Not a pompadour, and not a. Do you know the type I'm talking about?
Pretty much. See, I think that the term like full of hot air maybe might come from like someone blow drying their hair like 1 foot into the air, and then there's just nothing underneath.
So
it.
it's a big illusion.
That's
a big illusion.
Hot air.
All filled with hot air. Do you do straight razor shavings?
Do straight razor shavings too.
Now, my good friend Johnny Pemberton, you cut his hair. Does he come and tell you what he wants, or do you say, I know what you need, Johnny?
Well, yeah, he had a very specific thing we were doing for a long time, and then when he started working on Fallout, his hair didn't fall out.
Okay, it didn't fall out correctly.
The style just changed.
You're getting a hot exclusive here about season 1 of Fallout. That Johnny Pemberton, his hair, say it again.
Did not fall out.
It didn't fall out, and so he was like, it needs to be this way.
Well, yeah, but then he was like kind of like, I think he's beholden to the haircutters on set.
That's true.
Yeah.
Now, as a professional actor myself, I can say sometimes you got to be beholden to what they do to your hair.
Totally.
And now, have you ever thought about being a hair cutter on set? That's a whole union thing you don't want to go through.
Yeah, I have, and sometimes it was like kind of intriguing, but if you try and get a job and then you don't get it, it sucks.
True. That's true.
So it's like, I was like, I don't want to be rejected on the regular, you know?
Is that why you own the barbershop? Because you're like, I don't want to be rejected.
Yeah,
it's my shop.
And I also wanted to have something that was not like, you know, if you move to LA and you're very like adjacent with the entertainment world, and I have a lot of friends.
You got a lot of celebrity clientele? There's
some, but I've always known people doing all kinds of different stuff, and I just wanted to have something that seemed very like stuck in time, something that was not like, I didn't want to like, I don't know, do like an entertainment industry version of it, you know? I kind of wanted to do like archaic, old style,
now,
you know?
Now, barbershop quartets. Do you ever have? Is that when the barbershop cutters, the barbers sing themselves?
This is the thing. I don't know if all those guys are supposed to cut hair.
Yeah, or are they just 4 guys who we primarily focus on singing at barbershops? That's our venue.
I think they appropriate the concept and really can't cut at all. That's just a guess.
Have you ever thought about making sure that you and your other hairstylists or barbers can sing and doing
We've had as many as 3 drummers working at the barbershop.
Ooh, a barbershop drum circle.
So we could have a barbershop drum circle. Which
and you're a drummer.
I am.
You were in a bunch of bands.
In a bunch of bands.
Which was news to me. So would you care to name the bands that you've been associated with and are currently associated with?
I could. It's not so many. Well, this is going to go on forever because the drummer's affliction is always like 40 bands at their...
Oh, okay.
Right.
Then I withdraw that.
Yeah, you don't want to fucking
I withdraw that question because I won't know
the
the bands anyway. I actually don't know how to have a conversation of substance with a musician because I don't really know enough about cool music. At one point I did, and I know stuff about older music, but I'm a movie guy, you know? And I'm curious about, presentation. I got more questions about this hair cutting.
Oh, yeah,
Do you ever cut women's hair?
Definitely.
And so they come in and they go, I just want to looking like a man?
Sometimes. I mean, for me, it's always just like length. And that's one of the biggest difference, I think, between getting a cosmetology license and a barber license is when you go to barber school, you're like handed clippers, you know? Yeah. You're not handed scissors. You're handed clippers, and you're just cutting with clippers.
Do they come in and say, clippers or scissors, right?
Clippers are the zzz.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you got to sculpt. You're a sculptor.
It's kind of more like sculpting, yeah.
Does anyone ever say, cut my hair like Rosemary's Baby?
No.
Or, Gene Seberg in Breathless?
No.
No? Or what about they say Winona Ryder in the 90s?
No.
No? So women come in
now.
and they don't want the boyish cut. They don't want the pixie cut.
Well, they do, yeah, sometimes for sure.
But they don't give you those references.
No, they haven't yet.
I think they just haven't seen enough movies to give you those references.
I think people just forget what they want when they get in the moment and they're nervous as,
See, I like to plan ahead. That's why I wrote down some notes,
I like that.
Does anyone, what else was I going to ask? Does anyone come in and say, help me look like a sexy man?
Yeah, sometimes.
Like they
but
say, I want to look
weird.
a little sexy.
It makes you feel like kind of, like, I don't know, like, I can't help you. But
you're like, I don't know if that's
a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, maybe
I'm like, I can fix your hair, but...
I had a makeup artist on a thing once, and he did the monster makeup and paint your face type stuff, and he was saying, like, I also, he could do all kinds of makeup. He's like, I like to do the monster makeup and effects stuff, but also like to make a woman look beautiful. I liked that.
That was very nice, charming, yeah.
Yeah, I said, that's classy. So you don't ever think like, yeah, I like to cut a man's hair and make him look like a masculine man, but I also like to make a woman's hair look beautiful.
Yeah, I guess maybe both of those things, but I've never really thought, like, I'm going to make this man look like a masculine man.
So where are you from?
It doesn't really matter to get a
true, I
haircut.
suppose.
That's not really,
You're right about that.
wouldn't really affect the cutting of the hair.
Does anyone ever come in and be like, do they treat you like a therapist ever?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So they don't ever
definitely.
say, I'm just having trouble with my masculinity.
No, there's actually an amount of that, but usually you just end up feeling kind of like sorry and sad and stuff when the conversation kind of,
Turns to bummer.
yeah. And
So
you're
what do
just
you
like-
do?
You just kind of try and reassure them. and
Maybe
cut
you
their
say,
hair
but
nice,
your hair
you know?
looks great.
Exactly.
See-
You know to do. I mean, you always know to kind of do your best, but it's like, all right, if especially if it's someone who's like quite a bit younger, or something. I'm 48, so it's like if I have a 23-year-old like lost, kind of nerdy kid,
Yeah.
I'll be like,
In L.A.,
I'm gonna
usually trying to make it as
hook
a
you up,
musician or
kid.
You know what, kid? I'm gonna give you the haircut I gave, Skeet Ulrich when he came in here.
Skeet looked good when he left. Yeah.
Skeet looks good. How long have you been operating what's the name of your barbershop?
The new California Barbershop,
The new California Barbershop. When did it open?
2013.
2013.
So coming up on the 12-year anniversary of
Wow.
that place. I know, it's crazy. Brick and mortar spot. That's no easy feat. 12 years.
Where is it located?
On Sunset, just at like Mohawk Street, Mohawk Bend.
Sunset
right
and Mohawk.
there.
So
Yeah.
Mohawk Bend, that restaurant that got closed down.
Yep, right there.
And you used to do a comedy show there.
Yeah,
But
we
it didn't
did a
happen
lot
anymore.
of comedy shows. No, it doesn't happen anymore.
And you said, "Oh, you think I never did it?"
I think you never did it, but I guess Johnny Pemberton definitely did.
John Pemberton did it. I didn't do it.
So
You came to shows that Johnny Pemberton and I did, but I didn't do that show or come to that show. But I think I must not know the Bookers very well.
you would have done it.
I would have
if they
done
knew
it.
you. Yeah.
I mean, it's my scene. That's the type of thing I would do.
I'm shocked that you never did that.
I mean,
show.
you know what? I can't believe it. for
I'm
crying out
annoyed
loud.
now. I'm gonna send.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send 3 angry texts.
Okay, hey, what's going on? Why didn't you ever book? Okay, what other barber movies are there? Or are there any that are inspiring or like these guys
Well,
get
you
it
know,
right?
when I watch anything now on TV or a
Coming to
movie or
America?
something, Coming to America, that'll be $12.
That'd be $12.
Yeah, but it's
That'd
like
be $8. I think it's $8.
Is it $8?
That'll be $8.
That'll be $8.
Now it's like I see I see all the barbershop scenes now in like new light. Those are my people.
But do you ever say they're getting it totally wrong?
No.
I guess that's one that, like, it's not hard to get wrong because sometimes you see a thing that's portrayed.
They usually don't show it happening, right? They usually just like it's just conversation in a chair.
Straight razor. How about, there's a noir film called Murder by Contract, right? Starring Vince Edwards, who was TV's Ben Casey in the 60s. And he plays a guy who's trying to learn how to be a hitman. And there's this scene where he's supposed to knock off a guy, and he is in the barber shop. He's pretending to be a barber, and then, it's a really clever the way they do it. And then, he's like, just take a little off the whatever, and then they, puts the thing over. And we're to infer that he whacks him with a straight razor.
Yeah,
probably.
nice. I've been in a photo shoot, I'm remembering, where someone filmed this. I think it was not a photo shoot, it was a filming of something. And yeah, like my hands like kill a guy. And then it cuts to like a throat slitting scene.
Photo shoot?
It was a little short video that I have no idea whatever came of it. Now I'm remembering this other times when Ahmed Weinberg filmed something at the bar on the regular.
And he gets
show.
he's a client.
Yeah, he's a client. Yeah.
He's a client. You're like, now is that a breach of confidentiality to name clients?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know either. Do you know? Do you feel like you've got to go publicly and be like, this is one of our clients? Do you put headshots on the wall? That seems like an old
that
school
is
barbershop
an interesting
thing.
move. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't really, but it's like pretty
No, but
funny.
I like it and don't like it at the same
Yeah.
time. Like, it's cheesy. I mean, I think it's kind of funny, actually. You should
Definitely,
get people,
definitely.
maybe even have someone take purposely shitty headshots at the shop, and then, Brian, thanks for the great look. The best in town.
Well, when I had this job at a barbershop in San Francisco a million years ago, the New Chicago Barbershop #3.
New Chicago Barbershop #3. And you're #1? No.
Yeah, we're just New California Barbershop. But the owner, he would be like, if anybody famous comes in, come up and get me.
Oh, he wants to take a picture with him.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but no one ever.
What are you guys' haircut experiences? Evan, you got to run? I'm going to pee. Oh, you go pee.
10-1.
I just got a haircut today.
Yeah?
Oh, nice.
It looks
Yeah,
good.
I like
Thanks,
that.
thanks.
Yeah, and Jack, you've been sporting a mustache lately, and now you clean that up. Did you do that on your own?
Yeah, I was trying to trim it on my own and I fucked it up, you know?
Yeah.
It was very asymmetrical.
Shit.
Shaved the whole thing, you know? I'm just going to go with it now.
Any good or bad hair cutting experiences that feel like they hinder your presentation ability?
Big time. The wrong barber can ruin your day, life.
A month.
You know? Yeah, a month.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hang on, wait. So why didn't you ask your barber who gave you the haircut to trim your mustache up?
She's very sought after, and we got out of the rotation.
So she's like, I ain't got the
Well, she's
time.
like-
Right.
Now, what you got right now looks good, right?
Thanks.
I like it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's the thing. That's
Not unlike your haircut.
You like it?
Yeah,
I
definitely.
did myself.
Could you tell he did it himself? You could
I
be
did. I
honest.
mentioned. I said I threw it out there.
But as a professional, could you? were
Now,
you-
what do you think? You can see.
No,
you can
I
see
didn't
the
really. But
mistakes?
I could probably find some spots you left a touch
And
too
that's
long.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. I used to, when I was in my 20s, dress what they might call, like, occasionally, I was all over the place, but sometimes do a kind of a normcore thing, if they'd call it that. But I'd do something like, I'd add a little nick,
Oh, yeah,
you know,
nice,
on
dude.
purpose to be like, I'm crazy. You know, you might think I look like a normal guy, I look young kid, but I look crazy.
Look at this
Look
edge.
Is that? I wasn't going to give myself a wild haircut. I'm going to give myself a normal haircut and then fuck it up.
Yeah, I like that. That's
Yeah.
a good approach.
Did anyone ever ask you to do anything like that?
Gosh, no,
If you ever found someone who's like, I'm edgy, would you say, I got an idea? Like, how often you get creative? How often
Well,
you...
I don't like
you know?
it at all. I do not like. I don't like trying to get creative as a haircutter.
That's what a
all.
stylist likes to think they're an
Maybe
artist.
I think that there might be a little more of that in that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's interesting. That is the conversation. That's the conversation that I want to get to. So it's like you want to practition. You want to just like put it out there. You want to just get the job. It's like a carpentry.
I want to give you like the absolute best version of like your own kind of natural style. You know?
Yeah.
And if you say, oh, I would like sometimes I cut it myself, and I like when it's kind of half fucked up here or there.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely be like, oh yeah, no problem, and I'll adhere to whatever. But I'd give you like the most clean version of that's gonna last you, hopefully at least 6 weeks.
Yeah. Would it be like you're giving the presentation a backbeat or something?
Definitely.
You're like
There's-
the drummer of people's
You can depend on
presentation.
that. Yeah, I would be like, you can depend on the hair at least. You can be how weird you want, but
This hair is keeping time.
definitely.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you ever see somebody and you're like, I cut their hair?
Oh gosh, yeah, I guess so. Let me think about. A lot of rockers. A lot of my friends are like, we're talking about Blake and Adam from Jawbreaker. So, yeah, if I'd see like Blake on stage or something,
You cut their hair?
I cut their hair.
I cut that hair.
I have
See-
some funny pictures of cutting Blake's hair like outside of a Walgreens using like the Walgreens entrance light. We were gonna do it in aisle 8, but they were closing up.
So, your wife from Tulsa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's her in the
That's her over
at
there.
the bench over there.
Yeah.
High school rival
High
of
school.
you.
No, that was a joke. That was a joke. She was at a comedy show of mine and Johnny once, and I was like, "Where're you from?" And she said, "Tulsa." And I said, "Where'd you go to high school?" And she said, "Union." And I said, "Oh, I went to Jinx," or something like that.
'Cause they're
But-
known to fight.
But because they're rivals. But I didn't go to Jinx. That was a character. That was a bit. I didn't go to Jinx. Anybody here go to Jinx?
It's
No.
not. It's
Let
not
me go to
spelled Jinx either, is it?
Jinx. No.
It's-
like the Robert Durst show.
It's like a name, isn't it?
It's like Janks.
Jenks.
So barbershop quartets. What do you think about them? I mean, do you like that
Hilarious.
music?
Yeah, I have a bunch of records. I have a pile of barbershop quartet
Yeah?
records.
Do you really?
Hilarious. Yeah, yeah.
Do you ever play it in the store?
No, that shit's annoying.
Oh, really?
It sounds are
You think it
irritating.
would fuck up your... Is there anything that would fuck
Someone
you
would just
up?
walk over to it. Yeah, like we're right across from the fire station.
Yeah.
So sometimes when like the truck will go and they'll immediately throw it on, or like Chaos on Sunset, you might hear like I was cutting someone's hair once and some guy just starts tagging the window. This is like peak pandemic,
Yeah.
I just banged. I was like, we're fucking working in here, you know.
Oh yeah, had that pandemic. What was the pandemic barbering like?
It was pretty wild. Definitely.
Was
it
it
closed
hurt
down
business?
a lot. Yeah, I was doing it in the garage here and there, you know.
You weren't doing it outside.
At my house, yeah.
Oh, so the shop was closed.
Yeah, the shop was closed, and then it reopened and closed down again and everything.
So rewinding to what you were saying before, you're not here to give someone a makeover. You're not here to like tell them, here's what you got to put out in the world. You're here to say, look, you come with me, what you already know what you're putting out in the world, and then I can help you.
Yeah, but then there is people, now that you put it like that, there's people that are so lost and they come in and they've just been getting bad haircuts for so long that, like, you know you're going to,
What was that?
you know you're going to have an opportunity.
Something fell from the
yeah,
ceiling.
it was just a little.
Yeah, it looked like
bounced out
chalk.
that way.
We've got it under control, Josh.
We
Get back
got
to
it
the
under control,
interview.
guys? Okay, good. Yeah, so I'm interested in those lost people. They come in, what do they dress like? What is their presentation
Dumpy
like?
as fuck, and their attitudes are all messed up. They don't know what they don't
Like
know.
they're not nice?
No, they're like nice, but they're so awkward. Okay, so this will happen a lot. Like a guy will come in and he'll think that he's got to be a puffed up type guy.
He'll think that.
Yeah. So he'll sit in the barbershop and he'll think that he has to like impress me or
Like, what does he
almost
do?
like a challenge.
What does he do to impress you?
You know, just like maybe might like try and say something like funny that isn't like, and it'll be that typical like, you know, just that weird.
Oh, like when
man.
someone meets you right away and they
Yeah.
insult you because they think it's funny, and you're like, "Why are you
know,
insulting
you're
me?"
Like, what are you doing, dude?
I don't even know you.
know, just sit down and. But then, you just, you know, someone that's just got like no style at all, just wearing like clothes that don't fit. You know what I mean? Like just like fucking college like shirt or something, you know. And it's just like they probably haven't left the house and.
Orange
Yeah.
T-shirts.
Hey, I'm offended over here. You said clothes don't fit, and my ears perked up.
What? Because your t-shirt's big?
Yeah, my T-shirt's
You
big.
wear it
That's
well.
your style.
You wear it well.
You got an original style. You got a voice to your style, to your presentation.
So
He's
these
talking
guys
about-
might think they have like some kind of voice of their presentation too. Then
Are they like dressed in like strictly social athleisure wear?
you know you might
know,
see
or-
like the like slider flip flop with like tall socks, which is always like a bad like
Bummer.
That jail look.
the jail look / college dorm look.
fabric-y sweatshorts or something.
Yeah, you're just like, yeah. And you know, now that I mention this, it's like, yeah, kids come up from USC. That's always obnoxious.
Why do you think they pick you? And do you think it's a good thing they pick you because they like the business?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like, you know, lots of stars on fucking hell. You know what I mean?
Lots of what?
Like just good reviews.
Oh, lots of stars on the good review sites.
Right. So I didn't want to give these companies any lip service.
Yeah,
you
fuck
know.
those
Fuck them.
companies. We
But,
don't want to give them lip service.
People really
Fuck 'em.
follow the.
That's the best way. I mean,
You know?
that's how people do it these days.
So-
Because they don't have a friend to be like, you got to see Brian. You know what? You know who's gonna take care of you? Go see Brian.
That's the best when someone does send someone. They send someone to like the shop because they got a great haircut, and you know, like there's 5 other barbers. It's me.
So anyone who comes in, I suppose, and is listening to this, you should say Johnny Pemberton sent me, or say Josh Fadum sent. But you're like Josh Fadum isn't a client here. Get out.
Oh, you're talking to some. I was like,
I'm talking to anyone listening right now.
Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
who do I say that to?
Yeah. What's that? Yeah, they say,
Right,
and you'll say that's not true. Josh Fadum cuts his own
Don't
hair.
end up like me, kids.
Yeah.
Go see this guy.
I cut my hair. I'll cut anyone's hair for free.
I'll cut your hair.
I'll cut your own hair. Hey, I'll cut your hair.
I'll take it.
Oh yeah? Because so you don't have to. Now, do you have the people who work for you cut your hair?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Really? You won't do it yourself?
No, because, you know, it's about, like, just lazy. Cleaning up the mess and, like, you know, it's a pain trying to...
So if they cut your hair, they got to clean the mess up.
Oh, yeah.
You don't say, but do you pay them? To
Oh,
the haircut?
yeah.
So you're paying your own employees. Now, do they call you boss?
Some do, but only as a lark.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
You know when people say, how's it going, boss, socially?
That's my favorite. That's
You like
kinda,
that?
I love when people say that to me.
What do you guys think?
Love it.
Love it. Rob, what do you think? How's it going, boss?
Yeah, I can like.
Evan, you had any good or bad hair cutting experiences?
Oh
that you
yeah,
can remember?
I don't like when they go like way too short, then I feel like I can't go out for a few days. I'm like,
Right.
if you're gonna do a bad haircut, just only change it a little bit, and then what do I care?
Now, anyone ever come in and said, I don't like what you did to me?
Definitely.
What happens then?
Well, Well, you just go, oh, well, it'll grow out really soon. Really sorry. I mean, that's never really happened to me at this barbershop, but when I first started.
Did you ever work at another one?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
To get your wings, to get your
Definitely. Once you get out of barber school, you're just like you just have to go find work. You know.
Did you ever like work at an old school barbershop with like old men who've been doing it since like the 60s or
That
anything?
was the New Chicago.
That was it. So did you work there at New Chicago?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I
I misunderstood. You actually worked
Yeah,
there.
that was the first job I had coming out of barber school, and it was like the old black shop in the Fillmore district of San Francisco. Had been there many, many years.
So the barbers were black?
There was a couple black guys. They were old as shit. You know, they were like 65-year-old guys. You know.
Yeah.
And
they cut white people and black people hair?
Yeah, yeah.
And do you cut white people, black people hair?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny when you're in barber school. That's like your clientele. That's like all you're doing is like fades and lineups.
Oh yeah, fades.
You don't even have scissors in your hands, and yeah, it's like you have no idea. They're like foreign tools. You know.
Yeah. That just reminded me. My name is Fatum.
I'm a fade them up.
Usually
later.
I say, "What are we gonna do with these lights?"
Fade 'em, baby. What are we gonna do with this hair?
What are we gonna do with this hair?
Fade 'em.
What are we gonna do with all this hair? Well, it doesn't quite work. Fade it. Fade it.
Fade it.
Fade
Fade
'em.
'em.
Fade 'em.
What are we gonna do with Josh over here? Fade him up.
Fade 'em up.
Yeah.
Fade 'em up.
Yeah.
I have heard people say that. Fade 'em up.
Do you have like an active memory of like the worst haircut you've ever given?
Yeah. Do you think you fucked up?
Oh yeah, I just have to like focus the mind. I mean, the worst is barber college, no doubt. So it's like I said, you're learning just clipper stuff, but you're still trying in your spare time with like friends, you know, but you got no choice but to just like they just come out looking like, you know, one of the Three Stooges, because it's really hard. Like
Now I used to. Sorry, go on.
no,
Go
I was
on.
gonna say it's just
Flag
really
the
hard
Three
to-
Stooges because
to cut
I.
the top, you know, like when you're first learning, you just can't figure out like. You're just so fucking lost, you know what I mean? And this is the thing, you have to find someone. Your friends are the only people. So I gotta find someone like you who's just like, you know.
I mean, I actually am not like that. I think I would get very sensitive. I'd be like, I have to. If someone else fucked it up, I'd be mad. If I fucked it up, well, you know, nobody's fault but my own. That Beck song. No, but rewind to the Three Stooges. The Shemp. I always liked his hair, and I actually in like high school tried to cut my own hair.
Shemp's hair. Is it slicked back?
It was slicked back, and then he'd get bopped on the head, and his hair would fly everywhere, and the front was long, and so he'd tuck it behind his ears.
Nice.
And it was usually kind of parted down the middle, so I'd try to cut my own hair like Shemp's in like high school.
I was like thinking more Mo and how I'd leave some of these friends.
I had some Mo cuts a couple times, so you did some Mo's.
Yeah, I mean, I was like a long time receiver of the Mo because I was mostly doing it myself, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I just couldn't figure out like, well, what do you do to the top? It's like the sides. Okay.
How about little kids? You cut little kids' hairs?
Definitely.
Tougher?
Oh yeah, kind of a nightmare unless the kid is like.
Do they cry?
Oh yeah.
Now how cool? How cool?
I
is
wish
it?
we
Like,
had
what's a
hours.
cool kid?
I could just tell you like all these. Like I cut this newborn baby's hair, and it's like, why do you want your newborn baby to get a haircut? You know?
Yeah. Why can't you do that?
Just let it grow. Like what the fuck?
Yeah. Give
you
us
know?
those beautiful child locks.
And but these parents, they have a very.
It's like these people are fucking rich as hell. Taking your baby.
You know, they're spent $45, like, you know, and it's like on this tiny ass head that it's just gonna cry a lot, and you're just like, I can't really do like, and furthermore, I don't have kids' tools. I got like a 6-inch pair of like, you know.
I thought you were gonna circumcise him.
Was this guy a moil?
What do you bring that baby in here? Do I look like a moil?
But it's cool because some of these kids, they start when they're this age, and now 12 years later, you're you've been cutting some of these kids. I've been cutting some of these kids' hair for like, now they're practically like 18 and stuff.
Do they say, "Hey, Brian"? They come in, "Hey,
Yeah,
Mr. Girgus.
voices change, everything's getting all weird, you know. You're like, it's gonna be okay.
I'm back for another
You're gonna be
haircut,
all
Mr.
right.
Girgus. Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So.
Dad said that he'd pay me after I left. So I don't have any money. Dad said he would just call you.
Dad said to pay. Do you say
All right.
okay to that, or you say?
Yeah, because I'll know the dad.
And do
I've
you have
been
to
cutting
chase the
dad's
money
hair.
down?
No, not really. Maybe here or there I have had.
Do they say,
to.
"Make me look like Channing Tatum"?
Comes in his long socks and his slides with and his basketball shorts.
I just saw Magic Mike.
I want to be like that Channing Tatum.
I want to look like Channing Tatum. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Mr. Girgus? So I saw Magic Mike. That movie was dope. Like the way, like he like dances to those girls. Can you like make me look like Channing Tatum?
Oh man.
That was, I guess, that movie's like 5 years old. What was the other question?
So someone convinced that they wanted a haircut that you knew was going to be terrible, but you still did it anyway?
Have I done that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it usually happens with someone who's got like a set, like they're going to be on set in some specific way, and the production doesn't have a hair person, So this was pretty hilarious.
Like a character actor or an actor?
Yeah, and someone like is going to be, I'm playing this bald guy, so shave off everything and then razor it, So it's like shiny ass dome.
Yeah.
Like mine, but less hair.
That's fun.
It's fun, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like every now and again. Or like,
See,
I need a
that's-
haircut and then my wig also. So you're like, well, I got to charge you for both.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
For wigs, sir.
So you cut their hair and then you cut their wig to their hair. So that's it's fun. That's actually fun.
That's cool.
That's why sometimes I think it would be cool, and I have definitely an interest, but I don't know how to execute it of going into
What?
and doing it like on set here or there.
One time, I can remember a haircut of my own that I screwed up. I watched The King of Marvin Gardens, starring Jack Nicholson, directed by Bob Rafelson, and stars Bruce Dern. And Jack Nicholson he played like a more straight-laced guy instead of more a Jack type of a guy. And he had kind of like a comb over to the side a little bit, and he's got those high inlets with this like receding hairlines on the side. And, Jack Nicholson's as cool as they get, and I just kept thinking, like, his hair looks pretty cool, like that, versus how the traditional Jack cut is. So I thought, maybe I'll try shaving my inlets
Nice,
up,
dude.
just because at the time, I was like, I didn't give a shit.
How old were you, do you think?
I was 29, 30.
Nice, dude.
And so I took a shaver, and I shaved up, and I trimmed around. And like immediately, I was like, "Oh, that's a bad idea." I'm not as cool looking as Jack.
So a lot
And
of,
it just instead of making me look cool, it just made me look tired.
those haircuts where it's like the front is super tight, super crispy, usually like really short, like
Like a Caesar, like
kinda
George
buzz,
Clooney
like the
in
Caesar
ER.
style, yeah,
That when
but
George Clooney premiered that new
it's
haircut.
mostly like basketball style too, though, a little bit, like a lot of like
You guys know basketball
a
style?
lot of black men. Obviously, it's like a big like
Short.
the
Oh, so
contemporary
no
black
bangs at
style.
all. It's just
Tight
like
fades.
Just tight fades, crazy lineup. Here like a lineup where you're like hitting it with the clippers, and you probably almost ought to have like measuring tape. When you're doing that on guys, oh my God, dude, they're like about to take your hand off. They're like watching you, like, they're like, no, straight, no, down. They're like directing you. You're sweaty and anxious and scared, and you're just like, never really fucking done anything like this before in my life. And here I am, like, trying to do this for some guy who's like fresh out of San Quentin prison, because that was very regular clientele at the barber college.
Oh.
So it was, there's kind of some terrifying moments in there.
Yeah.
Just dripping sweat, high anxiety. Some guys bossing you. Sometimes they grab the clipper out of their hand, just like stand up.
And they do it themselves?
in the mirror, and you're just like,
Now, you seen those billboards of that guy Chaz Dean?
oh yeah, that guy in L.A. Right?
Yeah, in L.A. Chaz Dean.
Oh yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, if you don't know Chaz Dean, you got to Google Chaz Dean. This guy, what's his story? He's a stylist.
Some kind of stylist to the stars or stylist to the rich or
I mean,
something.
yeah, and he's got a face, like he's got maybe this is like well-tread territory for comedy people. I don't know. I just know every time I go to LA and I see a Chaz Dean billboard, I'm like, he's kind of like the new Angeline or something.
Definitely,
like that,
definitely.
And if you don't know Angeline, that's another LA
seen her multiple
historical
times.
character. Yeah.
Right outside the barbershop, even.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you go stand
you're right.
next
She
to
is
her,
parked there sometimes.
she'll just be like, "Are you looking at me? That's $10." You're like,
Right,
"Sure,
right.
Here you go."
You want a picture? That'll be $20.
20.
You want a T-shirt? That'll be $50.
Got the merch in her trunk too.
Angeline, she's parked on that street a lot.
Yeah, I
I've
haven't
seen her
seen
parked
her
there, too.
lately though. I wonder if
Hope
she's
her health
maybe
is okay.
getting really old now.
I think she
maybe.
was been really old for a long time.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
But Chaz Dean, he should start doing that, driving around with a car.
This just reminded me of what's
Chaz
his
Dean.
name?
Rob, you looking up Chaz Dean?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Who's Jay Sebring? You know Jay Sebring?
Yeah, he was murdered by the Manson family.
exactly. He was
Oh,
like
yeah,
one of the
yeah, you're kinda-
famous haircutters.
Yeah, but he was a stylist too, right?
He was a stylist, but I watched a documentary, and I definitely feel I don't want to die the same way
Did you
he
learn?
died, but I feel
You don't
want
want
to
to die the same way he did.
kinship
Yeah.
You know, with him. And then when I see haircuts, you know, him cutting like Paul Newman's hair, it's like, yeah.
Oh, he cut Paul Newman's hair?
Yeah, and like Steve McQueen and shit, and you're like, well, yeah,
He's
that's
good.
the wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So.
Now, do you ever try to be able to come in? Does anyone come in with cool pictures? That's what I want to do. People come in with cool pictures. Like, give me a Paul Newman cut.
Yeah, but my favorite is the people that'll have the same picture every single time, and so now just like the ritual, even though I've cut their hair 30 times, it's still like, let me see the picture.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, you know, James Dean or Steve McQueen maybe or something, and it's like, you know what you're going to do 100%, but still.
Give us some references. Who are some of the pictures? You got James Dean, you got Steve McQueen.
Well, when I was getting haircuts, you know, occasionally I'd bring in a picture of Harrison Ford, like Blade Runner style.
Uh-huh, that's a cool cut.
I'd basically get that haircut and then just let it grow out, or like Ian Curtis from Joy Division or something, you know. And then
Those are very
let it grow out.
Excuse me. Those are very simple, plain haircuts.
Totally.
Normcore.
Pretty much.
But then put a little nick in the back, you suddenly got, oh, this guy crazy.
Does anybody ever bring in a picture of someone not famous? Like, bring a picture of your friend. Like, I want to look like my friend.
That's a good question, too. I can't
single white
remember.
female.
Definitely pictures of themselves. I usually tell someone, find you a picture of you with hair you like. You know, if you have any, even a child picture.
I watched a teaser for the new Mission Impossible movie today.
Wait, no, please,
There's another one. And it might be the final one. I think it's called Final Reckoning. And Tom Cruise is in there. And I love Tom Cruise. I'm a Tom Cruise fan. I'll see. Well, I started to put on Oblivion the other day because that's one of the Tom Cruises I haven't seen. And I was like, I just don't like this design. And I got kind of bored and I turned it off. I couldn't go down that road with TC, but I am a big TC fan and TCM fan, unrelated. So I saw this Dead Reckoning trailer for Mission Impossible Final Reckoning it's called. And Tom Cruise, I wish that he would let his face just kind of age. I mean, he's gotten some work done, and you can kind of tell a little bit. It doesn't look too tuggy, but it's kind of got a puffiness about it. I also just wish that he would let his hair go gray, because there's no way that his hair is naturally Tom Cruise colored. No. It should be going gray. When Paul Newman was, I guess Paul Newman always had gray hair, and that was his thing.
Yeah, he aged more gracefully. For sure.
Paul Newman's a hot guy.
I got an idea for a barber, like a salon mashup with the Mission Impossible franchise, and we call it like Paul Mitchell. We call it Mitchell Impossible.
Does that mean you just can't do whatever someone asks? There's just no way.
I don't know. I thought Brian would take it and run with it. You know.
All the right Sassoon. I don't know. I'm going down on Tom Cruise movies.
We went to the Outsider's house yesterday.
Oh yeah, so you were really getting
cool.
the Tulsa tour.
Yeah, totally.
Was Danny Boy House of Pain there?
He was when we showed up. Yeah.
Did you get a picture with him?
No, I didn't know who he was until I found out later. I was like, why is there so much House of Pain gear in the gift shop? And that's when I found out who owned it and that he was there.
He was there.
He was on the porch when we first showed up, and I was like, oh yeah, I guess I remember seeing it. But there was a lot of good pictures though of the hair, the set hair.
Any other big revelations? Let's see if I go down my list. Anyway, you got any fact checkings for us?
Well, I like that the original barbershop was actually the community center, mostly run by musicians. So the barbershop quartet kind of had its origins in the 19th century barbershops and just kind of worked out of there because most of the working barbers were musicians anyway. So.
Oh, did you know that?
Well, definitely, and that speaks to something I had thought like 3 different times in the last 20 minutes, and then it just goes that way. But there's so much, like George Clinton owned a barbershop. He didn't cut hair, but he would definitely do some stuff, but he owned a barbershop, and it facilitated...
his hair is always really interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's taking advantage of, like, if he's sitting with the barbers at his shop, you know, or whatever.
I heard Joe Pesci was also a hairstystist, and he would do his own hair in his movies in the 90s. That's why he always had a different hairstyle.
No kidding.
Yeah. But anyway, sorry, go on.
Just a lot of musicians, just like Tammy Wynette, obviously, she was a famous hairstylist and a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Kept her license in good order, good standing for her whole entire life until she died, just in case she needed to make some money. And
in case it all washed up.
Lots of musicians and professional haircutting crossover.
Any other facts that we learned?
Well, I like some of the singing style characteristics are known as snakes and swipes.
Oh, shit.
Snakes and swipes?
Can you demonstrate either one?
I don't think so. No,
Anyone else got the ability?
Can you
Jack, you know a snake or a swipe? Like a yodel of some sort?
No.
Oh, lum dim dum dim dum dim. It all kind of sounds like that in my mind.
Yeah.
Oh,
basically.
I think we could make up a barbershop thing if you just do like a nim. Pick a thing, and then you guys do like a doodle. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Don't stop. And then you do a dilly dee.
Haven't never seen them, haven't never told them, haven't never seen them, haven't never sold them, haven't never seen them, haven't never sold them.
Right? That sounds pretty good.
Haven't never seen them, haven't never sold them, haven't never seen them.
Yeah. I think we got a barbershop
Yeah, we're ready to
quartet going on
compete.
right here.
Yeah, I don't think that we have to all cut. I think just me.
Yeah, you can be the cutter, we'll be the singers. Now, what happens if a barbershop quartet adds someone else wants to sing in there? How many is quartets for, right? So you can get up to the
there's
barbershop quartet.
in the past, too, a very intense, competitive field barbershop singing, and there's all these records that are dedicated to, like...
Cutthroat.
Haircut throat.
Yeah. There's all these records that are like 1976, like Tulsa, Oklahoma barbershop champions.
Ah.
So, and there's I have a ton of 12-inch. The graphics are always amazing, but the sounds on them are kind of debilitating, But they're funny, I guess.
You really do have a bunch of barbershop quartet
Yeah,
records.
yeah.
But you hate the music.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's funny, maybe.
Do you play music in the shop?
Yeah.
You got a playlist?
Yeah.
Is it cool music or is it
Cool.
just top 40?
Garbage. It's total shit. No, it's like 10,000 songs. I put
See,
everything.
you said garbage and then you said 10,000. I thought you were talking about band garbage and the band 10,000.
10,000 Maniacs. I like maybe a few
only
10,000
happened.
Maniacs songs.
I like that 10,000 Maniacs song where she goes, la 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 la, I'd like to thank you for it, na 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 na. That's a good one. That's Natalie Merchant. What am I talking about?
See,
That's
this
not
is the
10,000
thing.
Maniacs. That's Natalie
One
Merchant.
begins, one ends.
What?
They all kind of, it blends together.
That lady rock. These ladies and their rock and roll.
It's just 10,000 songs, and it's just permanently on shuffle. And the rules are strict. Don't touch the stereo. To the crew.
The crew. So you decide.
I decide.
There you go. Circling back to presentation, you decide the aesthetic and the presentation of the shop.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you also got a
definitely.
wine shop?
Yeah.
What's that called?
It's called Western Station.
Where's that located?
It's on Colorado Boulevard in Eagle Rock.
What's it named after?
Country music on the Western Station. Or there was a sushi place in San Francisco called Country Station.
Yeah.
That I thought was
an interesting
amazing.
name
Just
for a
a really
sushi place.
cool, weird name. It was like
So-
these Japanese punk kids.
Beer and wine. You know a lot about wine?
No, but Ashley does.
Ashley
yeah.
knows a lot. So that's Ashley's pet project, and your pet project is the haircutting project.
Pretty much,
But you
yeah.
work them together. Ashley, do you cut hair? No. Any interest? No.
Little pause there, like she was thinking about it for a second.
Yeah, what's that phone?
It's
What's that,
ice.
Rob? Oh, is it
It's
Get
ice.
it under control, Josh.
Okay.
That's what you
Just
said
got it
last
She has a
time.
hair cutter at home. She doesn't need to go out.
I've
Do you
cut
cut
her
her
hair
hair?
multiple times.
Do you cut her
yeah.
at the shop or you cut it at
I've
home?
done both, yeah. But now she goes to some hairstylist
Uh-huh.
who charges much.
Salon.
I mean, I'll only charge her.
Charge her for some. Charge her for your life together.
Ambiance.
When she gets her hair cut, do you think, hey, I'm threatened? Or you think, I'm going to learn a thing or two and I'm going to try to emulate, this one looked pretty good, or I could have done better?
I mean, honestly, it's always a relief.
Okay.
Right? Because it's like no pressure.
Hey, you know
Stress.
when the lady asks the guy to cut, you're in deep trouble if you screw that up. If you screw up your girl's hair, man, you are in trouble. You are in trouble. Am I right? You cut hair,
You're
am I
right.
right?
You're right.
I cut my girl's hair. Oh, you do not want to see her when I make a mistake. That is walking a tightrope.
It's pretty much like
Next
that.
thing you know, I'm on the couch for a month.
Oh, I come home, I say, baby, your hair looks great.
That's where it ends.
Hey, you ever cut anyone on accident with the straight razor?
Oh, yeah. It's
Yeah?
happened.
How
yeah.
bad? How bad?
Not bad at all. The first time I really recall doing it, this guy had come into this other barbershop I was working at in San Francisco, and he goes, I stopped smoking pot for the first time in 30 years, like 2 days ago. And I was like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that now?
Yeah.
But he was just very fucking tense, and I was shaving his face, and he fucking moved, and I and he freaked out, and and I was like, you're fine. It's
Is it a little
fine.
kind of cool, or he's scarred?
Bleeding down his cheek and everything.
Oh,
yeah.
so it was pretty bloody.
No, it was just like a little.
Where we end up, that's not very professional. You could cut somebody's ear off
I'm
dropping
sorry, you're right.
dropping
about
something like that, and next thing you know, the ear's on the floor along with all this hair.
But then I hired this guy once, and he was a sweet guy.
Eastern Promises. Sorry to interrupt. Eastern Promises, the
another
David
movie you're talking
Cronenberg
about,
movie.
right.
You seen Eastern Promises? Eastern Promises? A big fan. Great movie. Great movie. David Cronenberg movie. Sorry. Go ahead.
So I hired this guy, and the first haircut that he did, that's one of the big differences, hairstylist, barber. Hairstylist never fuck with the razor, you know.
Yeah.
And at the barbershop, every haircut.
Thinning shears? Do you fuck with thinning shears?
I don't personally, but a lot of barbers do.
Okay.
I have them and will occasionally, but they're not my favorite tool.
Okay.
So after you get a haircut at the barbershop, we always do a hot towel.
Ooh, that's nice.
It's nice.
Eucalyptus,
hot towel.
That's nice.
And a razor on your neck. And the one guy
Open
was
it up.
like,
Open it up. That's why.
just clean you up, nice, you know. The guy told me, I'm not really good with like a straight razor, but I use a safety razor, which, you guys know what the safety razor is. It looks more just normal, you know. It's one blade, usually the same one that's in a straight razor, but just kind of looks like a Gillette, you know.
Yeah, it's like from the one in the movies.
Well, that's the straight razor where it opens like a blade.
Oh, well, I know that, but
Yeah.
the razor that's like razor blade.
Yeah.
Someone puts it on their tongue or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I look over, he's finished cutting his client's hair. I look over and his client's just bleeding in like 3 or 4 different spots. And there's just fucking blood running down the guy's neck. Is his first day of work at the barber, and his first haircut at his new barbershop, the guy that I hired. And I look over, and he's just like fucking, like he's seen a ghost. Oh, Jesus. And the client's bleeding, and I'm just like, oh, fuck no.
Did the guy survive?
The guy survived,
Do you ever cut a dog's hair?
I do. I have 2 dogs, and I cut their hair.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you cut them fancy, or you cut them nice and neat? What are the dogs'
It's
names?
so hard. Shelly Long, this white poodle with
Hey, that's a great
white
dog name.
hair. Thank you. And
The other one, Shelley Duvall?
no, her name's Tilly. She was already named.
Oh, okay, like
You know?
Jennifer or Meg.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And both of them, I'll cut their hair, but it's such a pain.
Shelley and Tilly.
Shelley
Shelley
Tilly.
go by Shelley. Shelley Long go by Shelley.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, but I
Yeah.
usually give it
Shelley Long.
the whole thing. Yeah.
That's
It just
cute.
rolls off the tongue.
What kind of dogs are they?
The Shelly Long's a white poodle, and Tilly's just like terrier with the underbite.
Terrier.
They're cool, dude. You'd like them. They're
I
really
love a
cool.
doggy. So you cut their hairs.
I
Did
have
you-
been
did you do a
known
poodle
to.
cut?
No, I can't do anything nice on them.
Yeah.
I have some great pictures of me cutting my dogs.
Oh, I like the doggy. You ever fuck something up and say, it looks great?
Definitely. and I think maybe the thing is like, because, sometimes when I'm working as a barber, I'm cutting hair, and I'm thinking to myself, like, things like this used to be so challenging, Like, I can't believe that now I can do this thing that when I first started would just, like, fill you with anxiety and make you sweat, and you knew you were fucking it up all the time, Because you wouldn't know how to fix mistakes, but now it's like there's almost no such thing as a mistake, because you can...
Ooh, that's a good place to be.
Exactly. You have full control, so it's kind of...
I would say that makes you an artist, not just a...
utilitarian.
yeah, I
haircut
would say
or
that makes you an
something.
artist, that you can lean into the thing.
Yeah, it's
And
sculptural.
you got an artist side. You're sculpture. You're sculpting.
I definitely
But you're
am.
collaborating.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that's for me, maybe my favorite artistic expression happens in collaboration. You know what I mean? So it's like working with somebody on a thing.
Playing in the band,
know?
playing in the
Yeah.
hair. Do we have anything else important to talk about? Do we have any other questions?
Can I just add a little thing?
Please.
Just talking about presentation.
Yeah.
And like people come in that are about to get interviewed,
Yeah.
like for jobs and
Yeah,
whatnot.
that's what I want to know.
And if they get a haircut, it's like they get the fucking job.
That's
It
it.
really is like a really important thing, I think. I don't have a lot of things. It's really important to do this. But I think if you're going to have a job interview or meet maybe anyone important for the first time, I don't know who that
A date, maybe?
A date, possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe a haircut's a
I
pretty
can
good
add to
thing.
that. They're not hiring you, they're hiring the haircut.
Interesting.
That's one angle. There's also the angle that's like, you made who they are more clear.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
putting a clean-cut idea out in the world.
Good haircut makes you feel good.
Definitely. That's one of the greatest things about, man. And that's, the work is just so satisfying at the end of the day because everyone usually leaves feeling a lot or a little better about
Like they got a
themselves.
spring in themselves.
Yeah, it's nice,
I mean, I
dude.
know, like
It's
I said,
uplifting.
I was sick, for 3 days, and I was like, oh, I don't want to get it. Well, I didn't want to get anyone else sick, so I didn't go out. But I also was like, I don't feel like, I tried to get my steps. But I didn't shave, and then last night, I think it was, I shaved, and I was like, I suddenly feel better.
Well, Leonard Cohen's got this thing where he's like, my dad told me anytime there was stress, just take a time out.
Do you have an impression of Leonard Cohen?
No, not really.
This quote would be great with the my dad told me anytime. I don't have one myself. Yeah, anyway, go on. What's the rest of
Anyway,
it?
just stop
Anytime.
and give yourself a shave, and it'll give you new perspective.
Stop
You'll
and give yourself a
be able to
shave,
deal
and
with
it
any
will
problem
give
comes
you
your
new.
way.
Maybe older.
My dad told me anytime.
Sorry.
No.
Finish the quote. I wasn't
No,
paying attention.
I don't know. Just
It's a shave. He said a
you
shave will
see
make you
him
feel
in the
better.
mirror live at the Isle of Wight. I think comes with this DVD of the live performance, and
Told me anytime
he's going on about it
if yourself.
while shaving in the mirror, and he's probably high on a million different drugs too.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
I
what
didn't mean to
his dad
cut
said.
you off.
No.
I just had to hear that Leonard Cohen
You
impression.
do
that you
whatever
had.
you want on your program.
You know what? It's our program today. We're discussing presentation. This is how we present ourselves. And
So you want to keep the front swooping across in this direction like it is now?
Exactly like it was when I walked in. I'm not going to have some barber decide on a new look for me when this one has worked for me
Perfectly understandable.
for over 20 years.
I mean, I like to put myself like a little crazy. You know
I
what I mean?
like that about
we put it
you.
like a little crazy. Like
Yeah.
we got nice stuff, but then look at that. Look at this. We got this over here. And if you're listening, we just kind of sound a little crazy. We're not real. We're not real. Yeah, we're very real, actually. See, now you don't know what to believe. We're a little off. You don't know what you're going to get. Well, I guess that's all the time we have. We should probably wrap up. I think we've had a great discussion today. We learned a lot about presentation. We learned a lot about etiquette at the barbershop. Come in with an idea. Don't just come in like a blank slate, like someone's going to cure your cure-all identityless existence. Take a look. Pull up your picture of Brad Pitt from the movie Cool World, or your picture of Don Swayze from one of those movies that Don Swayze was in, Patrick's brother.
Okay.
Bring in your picture of Paul Newman or Steve McQueen, or who are some good-looking people who are losing their hair? Jack Nicholson, but that's hard to
Definitely
pull off,
Jack.
as I learned myself.
Telly
Who?
Savalas.
Telly, yeah, my dad met Telly once.
Telly Savalas.
Yeah.
Anyone to say, how often do you get, shave it completely bald?
Not so much, but it does happen, yeah.
Do people wax their heads?
Do they wax their heads?
Do you wax?
It's a straight razor. I've never waxed a head.
Any other facts to check, Rob?
Not unless we want to dig into some of this.
Chaz Dean?
Chaz
Did you learn anything
Dean,
about Chaz Dean? Let us know.
I'm going to have nightmares about the pictures that I saw.
Yeah, there's a lot of plastic surgery in those billboards.
His company
love him.
was sued for multi-million dollars, which he settled the lawsuit. But I guess some women were starting to lose their hair, having scalp damage, and some, pretty gnarly stuff. So.
Wow, Chaz Dean is a I didn't know Chaz Dean was a scoundrel.
Did you say skull damage?
Scalp damage, excuse me.
Scalp.
Yeah, permanent hair loss, scalp damage, and some other damaged hair by the Ween products, which he is the proprietor of. So.
Weed products?
Ween.
Ween, like the band?
W-E-N is, I'm sure that must stand for something in his.
W-E-E-N?
Just E-N.
Oh, when?
W-E-N.
But it's pronounced Ween? When?
When?
Wow,
Dean.
I didn't know Chaz Dean was like a scoundrel.
Maybe you can
Scalping,
tell if you look at
scoundrel,
those
scoundrel.
billboards.
I would have completely trusted his taste in... All right, I just got tired. Let's get out of here.
Yeah,
All right,
let's
bye.
do it.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Brian Girgus.
Thanks again for joining us for Here Come the Details, a podcast show. Thank you again, Brian, for joining us today. It was lovely. Thank you for writing that theme music. It is rad with your buddy Dean Minta. That's super special stuff to us. Thank you. Thanks again for Ian Upton for all his camera work. Evan Hughes and Jack Domingo for being a great interruption panel. This is your producer, Rob Stewart, saying goodbye for this week. We'll see you next.